Oh no. Blaz is dead. What was I thinking of? Hello? Hello. I hope everyone is having a good day. I definitely wasn't napping just before stream started. Don't even worry about that. I'm very quiet. Oh no. Well, Shadow Mage, I'd be more inclined to do a robot voice if it wasn't so hard to make work in a live content format. Oh my goodness! Zaid with a raid. I need to just adjust different audio settings. Why is it? Okay, besides the fact my workstation is not as good as it once was. Also, Juice, would you mind? I'm sure you just got done modding for Zaid, but would you mind giving him a shout out? Or Pig? But yeah. So, Zaid, how was your stream? I almost definitely at one point saw what you were playing and then forgot. So, I hope it was a good stream. Which was chaos at the beginning. Well, those streams are fun. So, personally, I mean, you've helped spread that to my stream, given that, you know, you're starting with a raid and everything. But, yeah. After sound issues. Oh, yeah, I know what that's like. Wouldn't be any kind of stream without sound issues. I just realized a problem with how I'm about to stream. But shut up and don't worry about it. Shut up. It'll be fine. I got this. For sure. Chaos is the flavor of life. Chaos is the flavor of life, which is the window to my soul. So, anyway, let me get rid of starting soon. Yay! Hooray, Cahill! I also just realized I'm gonna have to, like, manually kinda just... Well, setups are weird. Don't worry about it. Oh my goodness. Maybe I should have done this traditionally. But then again, I don't even know how I do that. So, I should also just... There we go. Is in Uranus again? Does my microphone sound bad? My microphone sound bad after I tried to fix it and everyone was like, yeah, that's about the same. It is date night, but I wanted to pop in and say hello, my man. Hello, lads. You've made me self-conscious. You're just a bit quiet. Okay. Let me open this again. What was I just thinking of? Let me turn this up just a bit. There we go. It is okay now. I'm glad. The real problem with my audio at this point is actually the fact that just like I need to make sure it's just my voice being captured, because there are other things happening regularly and I prefer that not to be captured on stream. But with that in mind, let's stream anyway. Do you know who my favorite stream villain is? I mean, not stream. I'm my favorite stream villain. Do you know who my favorite comic villain is? It's Ultron. He was one of the ones I was first introduced to. And I love an Ultron. I need to figure out what kind of setting I'm drawing in. The frat hazing in the background? Okay, well, I'm trying to find a balance here. Like, I turn up my audio. Like, everyone's like, you're too quiet. And I'm like, okay, I turn it up. They're like, we can hear the background noise now. I please. Oh my goodness, that reminds me though. What was I just thinking of? Yeah, there was a thing today about a device that, granted, looks somewhat like some kind of fetish device, but it was basically meant to be a Bluetooth microphone that was like insulated, so that way you could just use it and no one else other than the people in your call could hear your call. And I wish that was both available for me and also at the same time available for everyone else. I do not enjoy what was I just thinking of? Definitely do not enjoy any kind of just extra stuff. Yeah, okay, so yeah, Laz saw it. And you want to know something? Laugh all you want. I still really want it. This should help. Where is it? Oh, there. That one. That's incredibly tiny. Oh, is this gonna stay the same size or is it gonna blow up? My main goal is to blow up and act like I don't know nobody. Ha 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 ha. Okay, I'm just gonna do something real quick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's taking a while to start with art. I just gotta go. Blah blah blah. What fell out of my is an NES controller. I have a magic bag of streaming, and every now little characters and magical companions just pop out of the bag. It doesn't help that I feel like what was I thinking of? My fucking whole laptop broke just before stream. So, oops. My meth. Oh no, my meth. Oh, I hate it when that happens. I hate it when I get Walter Whited. Oh, I just realized something else. Okay, yeah, this is gonna look funky on stream for a second. I apologize. I'm figuring stuff out today. It was a joke, but my buckets and buckets of meth. It was a joke, but I did fucking have to. Oh my lord. I did have to end up. Well, I didn't have to. I ended up napping before stream. I guess I was just tired. Guess my body was like, it's nap time. I guess every time you get tired, it's just your body being like, we sleep now. But do you ever have those moments where it's just like, oh man, I'm about to sleep, and there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, everything is good now. As far as I can tell, it's as good as it's gonna get. If we're being honest, just fell out of my pocket. Anyway, but yeah, I love Ultron. I didn't hate how he was in the movies, but it wasn't good. It wasn't as good as a villain as he is. Honestly, I think Ultron probably would have been a better final boss-esque villain than Thanos in the movies. Or at least could be reoccurring. I mean, that's kind of his bit, you know? I don't know about Thanos. Obviously, he, like, comes back and does junk all the time, but Ultron's all about getting absolutely wrecked and then reappearing as an incredibly menacing villain. So, wrapped up in my blanket. I'm just gonna lie here and stare at the wall and not sleep. Yeah, I've been there. Been in much of the same scenario where I'm just like, ah, yes, What was I thinking of? I'll just lay down and not get knocked out for several hours. Hello? Oh my, technology is we're doing a genocidal robot as the art piece today. And I'm having a real fucked up time with technology. It is the way it's gonna be how it's gonna be. Should not be surprised. Technology. Yeah. Lord, I did have a. What was I thinking of? There's kind of a teacher who was a jerk. He was like, "I'm a Luddite," and I'm like, What the fuck is that supposed to mean?" And I looked it up, and it's like someone who doesn't like or abstains from technology. And it's like, oh my lord. Okay, fucking Jimmy Neutron. First off, I really doubt you don't like / don't use any technology, especially since we're in a decently modern college here. Like, you know, we're not we're it's not like this is a fucking a cabin in the woods where we do art. And I just believe that since you're here, you must not be using any technology at all. We are in a modern college in a very modern city. I see you're on your phone now. Contact your friends from around the world and no one bats an eye. Program force closes. It doesn't say progress. Technology. Unless it is, yeah. Unless you are the Amish. And even the Amish technically use technology. Just not what we would consider most modern technology. They use a bit more rudimentary technology for belief reasons. Do I believe those belief reasons? No. Do I think, you know, that they shouldn't be doing that? Also no. If that's how you think, then by all means. If anything, I think it should just be admired that in a world like ours today, there's still even the possibility of living a life away from all what we consider most technology. Even though I've been to Amish country lots of times, and places around the Amish have no problem using lots of technology. Yeah. When we were moving, my mom was like, "Get rid of this old CRT you used to watch stuff on." And I still have VHS tapes for nostalgic reasons. And I don't have anything to play it on it if we get rid of that CRT, which works, by the way, it works fine. It's not even just like, no, it works, and then like, it's bad. No, it's a perfectly functionable TV. Anyway. But also like, playing old games and stuff like that. She did actually, like, I don't want to say bought that, because it's true. With the way screens have evolved, games meant to be played on CRTs look different on modern hardware, which I have no problem with. I did see a whole thing about it, and I was like, what the fuck ever. But, it is interesting to go back and be like, oh, I can play it like this, and it looks like this. I even have, because my NES copy of Super Mario Bros. Is packaged with Duck Hunt. And I do have a Zapper, but I found out very quickly that the Zapper does not work if you are, oh no, well, oh wait, I'm assuming everyone can see. I'm assuming everyone can see what has happened. Oh my lord. Fucking... Where is it? Oh, I was about to... Again. Yeah. Sometimes Clip Studio Paint is a fucking enigma. But I hope everyone's had a good day. I was largely chilling. Did some stuff around the house. You know. Just really vegged for a second. Also, so like, I've talked a lot recently about how things are a bit different just because of this new job I have. And part of that is streaming. Like, I'm not keeping old schedules now. And like, I'm okay with that. But the problem came in that it was just like, I'll just stream when I have days off, and then I don't really have a lot of days off. And the real kicker was that I promised myself I'd do something on my day off, which would inherently mean I cannot stream. So I was like, well, something's got to be different. So I'm probably gonna try and start doing morning streams, just earlier streams and stuff like that, so I can do stuff before work. Am I doing? Wait. Yeah, I'm basically just doing. Okay. I need a different pose. Is the problem. How deep are we into stream? 20 minutes and I haven't fucking done anything? I love when I talk about people on stream, like, telling me stuff about, like, things that have gone wrong, which I do ask for, to make sure everything's okay. And then I sass them for it because I'm like, fuck. Is he an old person? Yeah. I remember. That's the thing. I've talked before about my mom being like, do you remember this kind of technology? And I'm like, yes, I was alive for that. Or she's just like, do you know this kind of technology? And I'm like, yes, mother, I do. I'm perfectly aware of it. And that was the thing, and I mean, part of that is just any phone before the iPhone, before your typical iPhone, which I was around for the record. I was perfectly alive and cognizant before the advent of the iPhone. And I like some of your, classic flip phones and everything. I did have a flip phone for a while, which was not in this time, but rather after it, when I broke my iPhone, and my mom was like, you get this, a flip phone, until we get you a new one, because we're not paying for it right now. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then I got a new one after that. That's a good pig. I'm sure your dad's phone hasn't been compromised at all. Sure no sure no hackers from a city you've never heard of, they haven't gotten in there and just run wild. Because that's definitely not what those apps are for. Those apps are helpful, and the people who run them and tell you how to install them on your phone and ask for your social security are incredibly trustworthy and nice. Gotta give him a robot bulge. Uh, what's the point of a robot you can't fuck? You cannot fuck Ultron. You can try. You will not. He won't be down for it, and you will not live to talk about the experience. So, just go fuck Vision. That's for me to decide. Juice, I'm telling you right now, it won't happen. He might be. He wicked won't. I can teach him to love. I mean, does it change anyone's mind about this? To if I say that Ultron's mind is, if he won't, then why is he hot and fictional? Because he hates all humanity, and if that wasn't enough, what was I thinking of? Uh, Ultron's mind is based off his creator, Hank Pym's, who abused his spouse. So, again, Juice, I think the timing of that message was very bad. So, the abuse ain't it. Oh my lord. Yeah. Vision's a nerd. I can fix Ultron. I don't think so. Ultron tried to fix Ultron. He just ended up killing more people. That was the most. That was one of the. That was like the latest Ultron stories. Is Ultron was like, you know what? I've tried to kill humanity so much. What if instead I fixed them? I can fix them, he said. And then he, like, basically merged his body with Hank Pym's. And everyone's like, I don't know if this is better. And in an attempt to prove that, they scientifically proved that Hank Pym's body was brain dead, and that in the process of trying to merge with him, Ultron had killed him. And if he wanted to do the same to the rest of humanity, he would just end up killing humanity. And Ultron, as is so famously his way of doing so, had a mental breakdown about it, which is about accurate to how you beat Ultron every time. Just about the only thing that was a thing, gets Ultron to stop whatever the fuck he's doing is to fucking give him a hot dang existential crisis about something. Hank Pym, Scientist Supreme. Well, that's because the MCU just isn't that good. I've fully just been to the point where I'm just like, yeah, this should have ended a while ago. And I'm now incredibly, and I'm tired. You want the truth? I'm just tired, okay? It's not enough that comics, shit on comics half the time. We don't need movies to do it as well. Movie and movie critics. So, everyone pack it up. We're gonna try something else after this. We're doing new things now. Also, I'm sure Juice is looking up, Ultron fucker fiction at this point. And I get it. But there are other Hi, Oak. There are other robots to fuck in the 616. Let me do my research in peace, so I was right. You fuck. Glad to know I was right. I'm trying to think what MCU, not Hank Pym or Janet, what character? I guess Vision? No, not Vision. And here's the problem. All the people I just said, the biggest problem is that Ultron considers them family. Like blood family. And that family is incredibly fucked up. So you know. I mean, the thing is, I like Ultron so much because of the series that introduced me to him, which is Age of Ultron, which is now much harder to look up thanks to movies. You did it again, movies. You've ruined something. Congratulations, you fucked it up. And honestly, that comic is closer to Terminator than the what was I thinking of? Than the Age of Ultron movie, which is pretty great. But also Earth Mightiest Heroes, which I think at this point, if we're judging on like percentage of quality, Earth's Mightiest Heroes is just outranking the MCU now fully. Not to be rude, but the way Earth's Mightiest Heroes approaches the source material and adjusting it into a film medium is just entirely better. 100%. I tried doing something. It's not working. Here. Let's see if this works better. I just realized the fucking thing changed. Why is Clip Studio Paint so just willing to... I feel... And this is why I still kind of just prefer traditional. I don't have to worry about what a workspace looks like in traditional. I mean, I kind of do. But like the paper won't just snap in and out of reality. And I'd really enjoy that. Also, curves are just hard. Why is doing a precise mathematical curve by hand so difficult? Why can't we have nice things, Papa? I need to... I'll freehand it. I was gonna say I need to sketch Ultron's little wingdingums, but it'll be fine. What is the matter, Papa? But yeah, I'm just living life currently, you know? I don't want to say I'm going with the motions, because that's definitely not it. If anything, I'm doing a lot of new things. But I am also just kind of like, you know, seeing where it all goes. Doing what I can. Blah, 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 blah. Yuck, 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 yuck. That's the wrong layer. Yeah. Again, traditional workspace benefits. No layers. I'd love to never have to worry about a layer again. Including the layers of hell. Fuck off, Dante. I don't want to think about the afterlife today, thank you. Yeah. face is like this. I got distracted by a comic panel I found of Ultron. It's wild. There's some fun. Listen, when you go digging into different comics, it can be real fun. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes all of literature was a mistake. But that's the risk you run. Hey, you could argue that's with every piece of media, you know? All of it, all of it. Because, I mean, hey, your modern writer doesn't appear out of a vacuum. Toni Morrison is right there. I get it, but listen. You're underestimating how bad I was thinking of some comic stories get. And unfortunately, comic writers don't just come out of a vacuum. They come out of the refrigerator. But, like, you know, they're writers. They've read books and have had thoughts about those books and have made things based on those books. And some of those things are bad. And it's reflected in the comics. So I forgot. My understanding of comic writing is that they write things that are convenient right then and there and don't think about. I don't know, it depends. You really can't say any one thing to encompass all of comicdom. It's that doesn't work like that. The reality is, again, it's literature. There have been comics to express every type of thing, to reflect the people who created them and experiences that they have had or know about. So much like games or the internet or anything created by humans. It's really hard just to be like, and it's all X, because it's not. And not only are there exceptions, sometimes the exceptions are just incredibly common. That being said, I mean, I have a reason for not liking, oh my goodness. I fucked this up so much. I wish I didn't have to keep starting over, but I want it to be good, dang it. I actually met a coworker who's very into comics. So, in part, I want this to be good and post it to show them and everything. You know, trying to impress people. Maybe that's my flaw. Maybe it's my flaw that I'm a people pleaser. And I'm a person potato. But dang it, that's not going to stop me. Scream at them about comics every day. I might. I just might. This is kind of what I end up doing a lot in digital. I just get so sick of trying to do curves. I end up doing a bunch of little straight lines and everything. And I mean, that's kind of what all curves are, but Isn't everything just little straight lines? Are atoms straight lines? We don't fucking know. We present them in little drawn pictures as spheres, but no one's fucking seen an atom. We don't have, and I don't know if there is, the evolutionary biological technology to do that. They're so tiny. Atoms are the smallest little guys you ever done seen. Huh. That was one of the problems I had in chemistry in high school, is that, I don't know, the idea of visualizing it all was incredibly difficult to me. I'm not sure you're supposed to visualize it, but still. Like Mr. Avocado's number, that's far too big. How many zeros is that? How many spaces? I can't count that on my fingers. And then Juice is all like, you wouldn't have been a good chemist. And it's like, I fucking know that, Juice. Everyone knows that. I got like a B. I'd be a lab hand at best. And I'm okay with that. You go be a fucking physicist or whatever. I'm over here drawing robots that apparently you want to fuck. So I'm okay with my life. What was I just thinking of? I was talking about Earth's Mightiest Heroes not too long ago, and yeah. The Ultron in that show is top notch. But so is a lot of the characterizations of different comic peoples in that iteration of Marvel Comics. So wait, what happened? I heard my name. You don't have to worry about a thing I just said, Juice. You go back to doing whatever you were doing. You are happy doing that, and I'm happy for you. Oh my goodness. Oh wait. That was the wrong button. I can't wait for Juice to, I don't know, rewind the VOD and yell at me. Give me the sass for me sassing them. When it's all in good fun. I always think that FF7 battle theme is like the best one. But that's just me. I just enjoy it a lot. Oh my goodness. Here's the problem. I wanted a bigger table to work on, but I couldn't access a bigger table. So instead I have a small table. And that's just I'm just your problem. You know, I'll admit it. I didn't see what was the deal with bubbling when Adventure Time was running. But apparently that was wrong. I wasn't yucking anyone's yums or anything, obviously, but I was like, yeah, I don't see it. And then the creators was like, and it's in the show. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess it was there. Pooey on me for being so blind to this vampire and Candy's woman love. That one's really on me, guys. I'm gonna make his horn things just like black. Because A, I like making things a nice solid black, and B, it's easier. At the same time, doing solid blacks can be really easy. It can also just be like a recipe for disaster. Well, not a recipe, more so something that's hard to pull off. Like, not everyone is Mike Mignola. Not everyone made Hellboy. It kind of takes like a. I'm not saying I have this. I'm saying it to make things well. It can take with just pure blacks and everything. It can take like a special eye. What do your elf eyes see? I'm probably just gonna like play video games and stuff tomorrow. I really could just use a bit more video games in my life at the current moment. Also, please let me know if stream quality is alright. I'm thinking about that now. Maybe I can just do it like. That's too far over. Also, is this the Cosmo Canyon theme? Because A, I've been replaying, like I said, I've been replaying FF7. And I remember recognizing this last time I played this playlist on stream. I was like, which specific song is this? And I believe I just got done the Cosmo Canyon section. Okay, let me do this. Sometimes you just gotta copy and paste. No shame. Sometimes when you want your art to look good, you just need to like. Oh wait, no, that ain't it. You just take there is no. What was I thinking of? There is no shortcuts. You just take the necessary steps to make it look as good as possible. Did I do the wrong thing again? Cancel. But yeah. Mine is just straight up stealing someone else's stuff. Like, if it's just a process available to you in order to make your thing look as good as possible, then just heckin' do it. Because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is people aren't going to think about kind of what it took to get there. They're just going to think about how good it looks. And they'll be like, how can I do stuff like that? Ends up being a case for a lot of people in the, as I was thinking of. In art. Looking at others' works and being like, dang, how'd they get that done? So. Don't be afraid. I mean, this largely comes from a mindset of people being like, you can't use reference, that's cheating. Like, ew, fuck that. Fuck you for saying that. Reference is incredibly important. If humanity didn't start using reference, we'd be back in the days of nasty medieval paintings. And I know those are funny to look at, but imagine imagine any 2D image you like looking at now looking like that. You wouldn't like, imagine whatever the fuck your phone screensaver is looking like that. You'd be decently upset. I would. If it were me. I am so paranoid right now. Anyone got anything to calm Dylan? Maybe that's what I should start doing. You know, like sometimes I have a problem continuing stream because my nerves about a certain thing on stream are too high. Maybe I should just be like, hey chat, calm me. That'll go bad real quick. But you know, it's not like I got a super big chat right now, so. And I do mean in general, I'm not complaining about numbers of this stream. I'm just saying, compared to some people who have massive chats that constantly need monitoring, I don't have the biggest possible stream. Agreed, Riku. I fully turned off my mic because I'm just paranoid about stuff. I apologize. I don't want that to come through, but at the same time, I want my streams to be as good as possible, so I'm just like, maybe the best option is to quit. No. You know, I don't want to get too into it because I'm trying to keep professional, like the job and stuff I'm doing right now, and what was I thinking of? Oh, this is actually looking better. I'm glad. No, don't quit. Oh, thanks, Riku. But like, I want to keep professional and stream stuff separate. But I'm actually kind of like this. What was I thinking of? This Sunday, I'm going to be crossing something off of my bucket list that I've been meaning to do for a while. And I haven't talked about it to too many people like around me. Mostly because I feel like if I do, I don't want to say they'll ruin it, but they will ruin it. Because the thing I'm talking about requires me to be alone. And I'm kind of scared to be like, oh, do you want me to come along? And it'd be hard for me. And I don't know how to politely be like, no. So like I'm tiptoeing around it. Not necessarily because I don't like these people, but because, I mean, it'll come off that way. It'll come off that way if they ask me if I'd like their company and I tell them not in the slightest. You know what I also think is a problem with me drawing on this is the fact that I'm on a different device from, because of this would have happened whether my living situation changed or not for stream, but like I'm currently using a different device than the one I typically use to draw. And I think some pen settings are different. Which again, just because of a certain thing that happened on stream, which I'm not gonna reiterate because it's like whatever. But just know because of technical stuff, I was like, man, I gotta change how I do art on stream. What was the thing, It's kind of weird to think about how many people are like, yes, AI is the future of art. Blah blah blah. I don't want to talk about this too much because obviously you've almost definitely heard it before, and it's an incredibly tired conversation at this point. But oh my lord. I'm gonna finish my thought. But I mean, heck, one of my problems with drawing digitally is the fact that it can be hard for a machine to kind of, I don't even know how to say this, but like, machines are so exact a lot of the time. So inherently, when, what was I thinking of? So inherently, they will kind of, I don't know, art requires a kind of abstractness to it, and machines don't do abstract, so it can kind of muddy the image you're trying to create. And that's just a problem with the very basic art programs that so many people use. So like thinking about it, I feel like one reason so many digital artists are scared by traditional art is that there's no undo tool, which is fair, but I end up needing the undo tool less because actually being able to physically work with stuff causes less weird errors to happen. My car radio, uh, like has not worked for a minute now, and I think I know what happened. I think it legitimately got unplugged because there's a part in the car where the radio is plugged into the car battery and everything, and I think it just became unplugged. But I'm just okay with it because like, I you ever just fucking enjoy silence? I feel like it can be hard to understand how difficult it can be to get like quiet until you are more affected by just like noises and everything. Um and as someone who can drive and has a car, sometimes the only quiet I ever get is driving. So, I enjoy that. I take a second to be like, oh my lord. Thank goodness. So I didn't realize for the longest time, just because I wasn't turning on the radio. I was just like, yeah, Haven't had a peace and quiet in a minute. Let's take opportunity of this advantage. What else was I thinking of? Ooh. What else? I was just thinking about. I was mostly thinking about the fact that, like, I was thinking about one of my favorite Ultron moments, which is just during the classic comic series Secret Wars. Ultron is brought back from destruction in order to fight alongside people, or just fight in general. And upon being brought back from the dead, the first thing Ultron does is immediately try and kill every living thing in the vicinity. Like, no matter who it is. And that's about right. That's about on par. As I should what, Yui? I don't know what Yui's referring to. But you know what? I appreciate his support no matter what. Just classic Ultron. It is. It really is. Because I feel like other people are like, this is my opportunity to really get the better of some of these super powered big shots around me at the moment. And Ultron responds with, no. My objective is literally the same as it's always been. I'm going to kill every one of you. Present at this location right now. Let's get it on. The biggest problem there being one of the people who was present was Galactus. And Ultron is a big bad, but you usually don't actually get much bigger or badder than Galactus. It's kind of hard to. So when he was like, you first, big guy, Galactus said, no. No, I don't think so. No. I was going for a different design, but I've kind of reverted back to Ultron 11, which is like his big classic design in comics. Ultron 1 actually looked a lot different than what Ultron now looks like. Which is granted because Henry Pym designed that one, and then Ultron designed every other version of himself to ever exist. Oh, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just chilling. I did my first real shift of work yesterday. And honestly, not too bad. Some ups, some downs, but I think in a general sense, I did very good. The ups and downs were less on me and more on customers, you know? Like, I'm powerless in these situations, so if you get too upset at me, I just stop caring altogether. I did come to that realization. I was like, I have no power here. You can get mad at me all I want. All it will make me do is care about you and your plights less. So, good luck with whatever you're doing. I'm trying to think. Because I want his, this hand out in a claw kind of thing. And I'm trying to think how that would look. Let me do... I feel like one of my favorite design points about Ultron is just his face in general. He's got such a cute face. But it's kind of due to the fact that, like, he's got this weird energy always happening in the mouth area. And pretty good. I don't know. I might leave that for later just because... Or maybe what I can do is, instead of doing it all black, do like bubbles. That's what it looks like half the time. Bubbles. Oh, bubbles. Bubbles are great. Thinking of things to soothe you. Bubbles is a good one. it just floating along. Nice satisfying pops. No loud noises like balloons. Balloons are similar is the thing. But the problem there is they have a much harsher fail state than bubbles do. In that when they pop, it sounds not unlike a gunshot. Bubble pop, I'm not even being like, oh, any and all loud noises are bad. Balloons popping are bad. You can have fun with it. But when you don't want it to happen, and it does, that's when it becomes far more of a problem. Unfortunately. Like, because a kid can have a bubble with them, right? And the bubble pops. I don't know, maybe they're bumped. I don't know how attached any one child is to one bubble. But, you know, maybe it pops. And then they blow a note. But, like, then they blow a new one. And it's all good. If a kid has a balloon, I mean, besides the fact it's just much harder to produce balloons, when it goes, it fucking fucking scares the child. By the way, can I just say, hot take, kids are fine. There's definitely I know there's that large contingent of people, some of whom are in chat, juice. They're like, fuck them kids. And I get it, because there are some annoying kids. But so far in my experience, it tends to be the parents more. Like, more than anything else, if a young child is causing a problem, it is more so the parents. And also, teenagers are worse almost the entire time. So, a lot of like little kids are just sweet though. They have very simple objectives. They're trying to have a good time. They're not about to be like jerks on purpose. The parents will be. The parents will be, and you can't stop that. They're determined to. Also, that's the other thing, right? Look at it that way. Even if you don't like kids, at the very least, if a kid is being like actually problematic near you, I assume if you care about the fact that they are kids, then you are probably, you know, older, an adult. And as just the older person, you inherently have a kind of default authority, you know? Like, it doesn't go too far, but you can be like, hey kid, cut it out. And sure, they don't have to listen to you, but they're more likely to than if you were just another kid. That's not the and they're more likely to than an adult would if you say that to someone else. So with that in mind, Kids are fine. More easily handled than their parents are, I'd say. I'm gonna give him 4 fingers, you know? Granted, Ultron is a more realistic design, but I'm giving him 4 fingers just because I feel like it helps make him less human. Because, you know. And that's one of the fun things about Ultron. Maybe it is meant to be a reflection on life, but boy oh boy. Despite being so hateful of humans, he is subject to so many emotions. Oh, the irony. And he's iron. Actually, he's been adamantium for the longest time. Which is probably why he tends to stand any chance against all the Avengers at once. Because, you know, anything less than the strongest metal on Earth probably would not be around anymore. And remember it? Less human than being a robot? Yes. What was I just saying, you know? Actually, Ultron was in a death battle, which he won a while ago. And they mentioned, y'all remember in the one part in Attack on Titan where they gotta figure out the armored Titan, and they're like, well, wait, armor has points where you're able to like not hollow, but it has purposefully exposed points where you are able to bend your joints and everything, and then they try to exploit that. Ultron doesn't have that. He's made of pure adamantium, but there's a device in his core that rearranges atoms into any shape he wants them to be, which he is always using on himself just to move. Which also means he can go full Terminator too. Never watched Attack on Titan. I don't remember. I think I read some of it. I don't remember if I've ever watched a full season or anything. Some episodes though. Definitely have been into it. Know some stuff about that anime. Not an anime for the faint of heart. But then again, there's plenty like that. You know, I have a Shonen Jump subscription, which I'm pretty happy with for the stuff it lets me read and everything. But there's also a lot of manga that's just not on Shonen Jump when you think it is. Which, granted, maybe that's on me for not knowing the publishing houses of Japan. That looks good. He's looking like a real classic murder bot right here. I need to give him his shoulder spikes. Because apparently classic Ultron has some spiky shoulders. You know, you might just say that's comic designs, but I would argue it's a good way of stopping a lot of people from picking you up by the shoulders and throwing you. Like, give some credit where credit's due. If shoulder spikes can have one purpose, let that purpose be people will find it much harder to pick you up by your shoulders and toss you somewhere. Oh, you know, given that I was freaking out about some stuff just a minute ago, glad I put on this guitar Final Fantasy medley. It's a very nice thing to help me not freak out. Can I just say, I don't know if I've ever said this on stream before, but honestly, I think I should, because no matter how many people think it's embarrassing, I think it's kind of genuinely helpful. If watching JoJo has improved my life in a single way, it is the fact that the first two parts help me to remember to breathe in stressful situations. I don't know if anyone else here finds that, but like, I think you might be surprised how often you'll be in something that's giving you any kind of anxiety, or like, you know, getting your blood pumping a little, and then you go to like manually take a big breath and you realize you cannot do it like steadily. You know what I mean? Not even like your breathing's ragged or stuff like that. More so in a sense of like, just like you try to go like and you realize it's like, oh, like my body is just taking incredibly rapid, like just panicked breaths, kind of against my will. So JoJo has helped me remember, it's like, hey, fucking breathe. And you might try to relate to that by saying, well, I watch Demon Slayer. No. Hamon is better. Ham is better than total concentrated orange juice. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Also, I mean, to be fair, if you need empirical evidence of that, you don't need a sword for all types of Hamon. You do for total concentration, though. Unless I'm mistaken, that is what a lot of the techniques are based around, is sword fighting. So meanwhile, you can use Hamon with a sword, but it's not required. If you lose that sword, you'll be fine. Or at least you should be. Unless you're an amateur. Amateur who doesn't know what they're doing. I mean, I am. But yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, right? Something nice about my new setup is that before I had moved all my consoles and everything to be in my home office for the purposes of streaming. But now they're all in my room and relatively close to my bed. And that's just nice. I can relax the way I want to. Just laying in bed, playing games. Was doing that today, playing some Fortnite with friends. Because I actually had the place to myself on my one day off. So double niceties there. I'm honestly tempted to play Final Fantasy X again as well. I might do that after I get through 9 and 8. Because I want to play 9 before 8. After I'm done with 7. Because, yes, I know numbers, but I want more classic Final Fantasy action, and if I know one thing about 8, besides the fact that my dear friend Mr. Pig loves it, is that it does some wild stuff with the battle system. And I'm down. I can also, like, I mean, heck, if I'm done replaying 7, I'm like, I want something a bit newer, then I might just go to 8, but I talked before. You know, last time I talked about Gerard, Mr. Completionist Man, I was a little mean because I talked about some of his, like, very slight, rating differences, where for very minor. Well, that's the thing. It's not minor reasons to him when he's like, you know, don't complete this game. This part's a pain to do. But still, you know, I'm like, I don't think that deserves it to get bumped down so much. But regardless, in his defense, not only was he very nice to Final Fantasy VIII, a game Pig loves, he was very nice to Mario 64 DS, which is the Mario 64 of my childhood. And so many people are like, no, no, you have to play the original. No, you like the one on the portable system better. No, you're wrong. Get out of here. And I'm like, have you played as Yoshi before? Yoshi's a great guy. Lord, friends of mine informed me about Bowser x Yoshi as a common, like, you know, ship thing. As a common type of fan art. And that's the one I can't get behind. Actually, because, like, I'm okay with Bowser x Peach and Bowser x Luigi and even Bowser x Mario. But Bowser x Yoshi feels wrong. And I think it's because I know Yoshi is sapient and perfectly capable on his own. But on the games I know of, Yoshi is kind of like, I don't want to say he's Mario's pet, but he kind of is Mario's pet, despite also kind of being his adoptive father. And Bowser, like, you know, Bowser's mean to Yoshi. So to me, it's like seeing someone, you know, get their cat thrown across a lawn and have someone else be like, oh, they're so cute together. And it's like, what are you talking about? I'm worried about the cat. Maybe this is a weird conversation. I'm just saying. I can't get behind. What was it? Bowser x Yoshi. There's so little, you know, like, actual story to so many Mario things. Like, a lot of it is very fairy tale plot. And I'm okay with that a lot of the time. Because the gameplay and, like, good looking art, blah, 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 lots of stuff make up for it. But that's the one piece of Mario thing I definitely know. As much as the fact that Bowser kidnaps the princess. And it makes the fan pairing just weirder to me. And then someone else, while they were talking about that, being like, well, they're both Koopas. And it's like, excuse me. Yoshi's a Muncha Koopa. He's a Yoshisaurus. He's a dinosaur. He eats Koopas. He's not a Koopa. It's just see, that's the part where I'm being pedantic. Because it's not like you even have to change it that much. You can just be like, okay, they're both fictional reptiles. Stop being a prick about it. And then I'd be like, you said Koopa. He's not a Koopa. He's his own species. At least I don't think. What was the thing, you know? I mean, I could. Give me a second. Alright, let me get done this part real quick. You know, in terms of good things, because I'm still thinking about Final Fantasy X, one of the good things I really like about Final Fantasy X is how it starts on a in media res, like, what's the thinking of? An in media res kind of cutscene of the party, uh, with your main character talking about what they've been through and how they're at the end of their journey. Uh, blah blah blah. And I feel like it's a good way of making it so that you're more driven to get through the game and stuff like that. Species Yoshi. Yeah, so apparently Yoshi's species is Yoshi. So I have to respond to something real quick. I have a deep pity for one of my friends. Oh my goodness. Respond to that actually. Well, you also didn't have to say that I was responding to you on stream, but still, I wanted to share your burden, pig. But yes, apologies about that. Speaking of other friends, though, some friends of mine keep watching Naruto in Discord, and I have no interest in Naruto, but I do like watching anime with them. This is a thing, and the great thing, you know what the great thing about watching a show like Naruto that I do not care about is, uh, it is the fact that I'm just able to bullshit with my friends through the entire thing. Like I do not have to like sit by. Well, like you know, I I'm quiet during the scenes I know are important to them. But I don't have to actually myself be like, wait, no, let me get invested for a second. And I just say, absolutely not. I say, no, thank you. I would not like to know about Hokage. I don't even know what that means. Data bio? Dun dun dun. Yeah. You know, if you haven't played Final Fantasy X and you like RPGs, give it a chance. If you have played Final Fantasy X and you don't like, I mean, if you haven't played Final Fantasy X, Chen, and you don't like RPGs, maybe skip it. Listen, I like a good RPG, but if you don't like that kind of game and you go into Final Fantasy X, you're in for a long haul of a thing you don't enjoy. That'd be like me saying like, "Oh, you don't." The opposite would be like me saying, "Oh, you don't like forests? Go to Yellowstone National Park." Oh, you don't like bad news? Go to Twitter. It'd be wild for me to recommend a game like Final Fantasy X to a person who does not like very traditional. Uh, I don't want to say by the book because it does do a lot of cool things that it alone deserves credit for, but at the same time, it is religious themed. Gotta go kill God real quick. Uh, Term-based role role play. Term-based role-based RPG. Got your magicians, got your warriors, got your furries. No. You ever just ever just unintentionally go cross-eyed for a second? Best magician class. Hey, pig, listen. I'm sure you have good reason to say that, and I'm sure mechanically or whatever, you're right. But I'm sorry, it still goes to Final Fantasy, not for any gameplay reason, but because of the classic black mage design. Now, if you want to mod this Melia person to look like Final Fantasy Black Mage with the big pointy hat and the glowy eyes, then we can start talking. Then we can get more in depth. But until then, I'm just gonna give it to FF by default. I'm really sorry but you were losing this race before it began, Pig. I'm really sorry about that. Now, to your credit, though, to your credit, Pig, not every, to yours and Xenoblade's, not every Final Fantasy has that design in it or playable. So, therefore, every Final Fantasy that doesn't is worse. I will admit, would probably be worse than Xenoblade 1. But the ones that do, which would be like 1 in 9, and I don't know about the rest, they're fine. Just because they managed to combine buff magician with a DPS magician. Well, that's cool, but isn't that also red mage in FF? I'm not taking it away from you. I'm sure there's a lot of in-depth stuff you're just going in on. But yeah. I don't know. Buffs are weird to me. Because, I mean, like, inherently, I tend just to prefer raw damage over it. So, like, some buffs are really good, and I end up using them a lot. But a lot of times I'm just like, I just need to kill them, right? I mean, I think the thing you got my attention with is non-turn based because, yeah, Xenoblade is more active. It struck me a while ago, and I think I said on stream, you think about how Xenoblade is like Nintendo's actual RPG series. Because, I mean, not only was the Mother series not as big of a hit. What's up, Shadow Mage? At least in the West. Fucking whack me right in the head, Shadow Mage. Damn it, thank you. This mage is cute. But not only was Mother not a big Mother is not a big hit in the West as I imagine Nintendo might want it to be. It's also by its own series creator wrapped up, like it's done. And a lot of other big RPGs on Nintendo consoles are third party. But Xenoblade's first party. And pretty decently popular. Especially after getting into Smash and whatnot. So. And it's got, and you know, it do got some ravenous fans, some of whom I know. So, but still, wild to think about because it's a JRPG not everyone's heard of. Uh, that started on the Wii and is now like kind of Nintendo's big entry into a huge Japan centric genre. Nintendo, one of the biggest Japanese companies, only semi recently, and by recently I mean like the span of time. Don't be like, okay, the Wii was so long ago. No, I mean the span of all time, in the span of video game history, only somewhat recently stepped into the JRPG format with a game some people adore and some people don't know. How do y'all think this looks, huh? I do love drawing me metal. Like I love using inks to represent the shine of Chrome. Not Google Chrome though. I stopped using that. I stopped using that after privacy became a concern. Think it looks with its eyes? Probably not. In Age of Ultron, there's a specific moment where a team of heroes go into the future where Ultron has escaped to in order to try and save what's left of the world. And they're like, Invisible Woman, who is one of the survivors, come with us. And then she does it. And then Tony Stark is like, that was never going to work, by the way. It's like, Ultron almost definitely has heat seekers. I have he specifically says I had heat seekers in my armor before I had roller skates. It was never going to work. So, I don't know why they fucking tried it in the first place. Credit to some MCU stuff, even though this isn't like actually MCU. The idea of Ultron completing Vision and then uploading his own consciousness into the body, pretty cool. A variation I don't think I've seen before. So, makes it distinct and also kind of helps paint it in a vision of like, oh, this is why he was able to beat them this time. He was able to kind of complete this master plan he had. Also, can I say, because I want to draw some Thor. First off, I should get more Thor comics, because I do love me, like, Thor is not someone I talk about a lot, but honestly, I read his comics and I was like, these are fucking good. With like the mythology, blah blah blah. But also, besides that bit, it occurs to me Thor could probably be considered the strongest Avenger for a lot of reasons. The only real hiccup is that, and I think it was interesting, this is one reason I like watching Death Battle. So Death Battle broke down that one thing that helps, based in philosophy and reason. No thanks, we're just gonna beat the shit out of you. Okay, fucking Smage, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I kind of get what you mean, unless you're talking about in the movies. But either way, I don't care what his argument is. His solution is to kill everyone. Not just everyone, everything. All organic life. In the movie. I mean, even still. It doesn't matter. I kind of get what you mean because he's kind of like the Avengers are the problem. They're stirring the pot. But regardless, his plan is to still kill everything. It's okay until you find like and in the movie Wanda's like that. Like it's chill until it's like, well, not he doesn't just want the Avengers to die. He wants basically everyone to. Wrong in stopping him. You're saying they should have heard him out about it. You're saying, wait, guys, wait a minute though. Let's hear what this Ultron guy has to say. I mean, they did, and that led to civil war. Led to literal civil war. Which, to be fair, Cap had even more reason to object against in the movies than in the comics. Because, sure, the argument there is the Avengers have caused a lot of problems. The Avengers seem to be at the center of a lot of problems, which is always kind of, not to be rude, I think one reason I'm not completely with Smage here is because, like, whenever someone argues that, 80% of all superhero problems would have probably happened without the superheroes being there, meaning they only contributed to, what was I thinking of? Managing the damage more so than causing it. What was I just thinking? Oh, yeah. But still, Cap had even more reason in the movies to object than in the comics because in the movies, it came out beforehand that fucking the US government was rife with the remnants of a Nazi science group who were, before Cap stopped them, in the process of creating super weapons to eliminate all resistance across the planet Earth. So, of course, when one representative comes up and be like, I want you to work for us, Cap is like, I'd rather not. I think we're doing fine as is. But yeah, honestly, like, I get it to a degree, but I'm talking about comics. I'm talking about comics history. Have an IRL. I know we will not get into it. not to overmanage here, Smage. But yeah, I'd really rather we not. But I mean, in the comics, you know, an incident happens with a child superhero group that results in a lot of casualties. And the question comes up about superheroes being a government thing, and Cap's and Iron Man's on it, and Cap's like, no, I've seen fascism before, and the idea of us being a government controlled, like, you know, what was I thinking of, organization seems bad to me, and quite a few superheroes agree with him. And then Civil War, and it's not written that well. A lot of people criticize it and the negative effects it had on the comic, on Marvel Comics continuity at the time. But then Cap in the movies has an even better reason to object to it. So I just never go for it. I'm sorry. I don't know if there's people in chat who think like, yeah, superheroes don't do the best job at their job. But when you get the full picture of like everything that like kind of goes on with supervillains and stuff like that, lots of those threats are going to be coming out of the woodwork anyway. Meaning if the superheroes aren't there to stop them, then the Earth is just so unbelievably screwed. So with that in mind, I'm not typically like, hey, you guys need to be reined in. You're the problem here. It's like, no, they're doing fine. They're doing what they can. I mean, again, I get it. Fucking, you come home from work, the Hulk has used your car to club an alien over the face. You're upset about that. Sure. But at the same time, the alien was probably going to blow up your car anyway because it was right there. And also, superheroing is kind of a volunteer position. Most superheroes aren't getting checks for literally risking their lives all the time. I mean, some of they are, but a lot of the times it's either living wages or they're just given a house. Like that's kind of the main thing the Avengers have to offer. It's like, hey, are you a superhero? Join us and we'll give you a place to live. It's like most of what they have going for them. What? So, being overly critical and cynical of those heroes because they couldn't stop some things from happening. I asked in a snarky fashion. Yeah, well, I'm just saying. Because you try to be like, Ultron had a point there. And I imagine the point that you're referring to is that the Avengers are the problem. But that's typically never the case. I'm not saying, and like this doesn't really apply to real life as much, but still. It's more of a case of using fear to turn people against something than anything. Being like, hey, aren't these superheroes and their powers kind of scary? And then everyone in the country goes, yeah, they are kind of scary. And then whatever is trying to like, quote unquote, quote, keep the heroes in check tends to be worse than the heroes. In every sense of the word. In DC, that's Amanda Waller. And Lord, I could count on one hand the amount of comic characters I so universally want to punch in the face. And Amanda Waller is one of them. Like of all of them, she is up there. She's just the worst. I think part of her job description is to threaten preschool children regularly. Not to their face, mind you, but still. Just take someone's child and be like, do what I say or the kid gets it. And she's supposed to be the good guy in those situations. Amanda Waller's like, I'm the sane person here. Meanwhile, she's fucking running over puppies. Heck her. Absolutely, I do. Yes, I mind. There's lots of other ways to get. I get my words twisted. It, I get my words twisted all the time, Shadow Mage. I really don't need more. I mean, you can if you if you. I'm not gonna actually stop you, but still. I'm just saying we have. I think we have enough of a backlog of people in chat being like, "Ha, Cahill, you said this thing that sounds bad out of context." And it does, and the thing is, it does sound bad out of context. And I hope more people don't hear it out of context. So if I can regulate the amount of times that happens, I'd be good with that. Is highly amusing. Amanda Waller's not elderly. You might be thinking of the Justice League Unlimited finale, where she's shown to be older, but she's like Batman's age. Like, she's about the age of all the heroes. You know. Oh, wait. The music is done. And I believe, yep. I've accidentally entered into pig stream. I had one of pig streams in my liked bar. And the playlist automatically went to that. As long as she's doing... Yeah, no. See, that's why I don't like DC. I think DC tends to have a lot of good solo stories. Like when it's just a story in largely in a vacuum with the basic with the characters and relationships and their basic configurations. But DC for the longest time has had a rough job with making a single universe continuity. And I'm real tired of it. And you wanna know the problem with it? I can't do anything about it. Do you know what would happen if I went in and tried to fix DC's continuity for them? There'd be a reset. And they would just and they wouldn't see that as anything being fixed. They would just reset it again. I'm real tired of it. If I had a choice, I'd take every single character and set them back to like the 1930s. And we just go from there. It's like, okay, none of this has made sense in so long. We're going to go back to, we are going to go back to like when these characters were created, and we're going to start from there again. And no one's going to touch them after this. Okay? Reset scenarios? I don't know. They did New Frontier, which is like, what was I thinking of? Which is like a lot of the superheroes in their golden age style and stuff, dealing with problems that would have been prevalent at the time. But that wasn't like a reset. That was, again, that was like a vacuum story. I'm gonna reset everything. We're gonna have, I don't know. I know you like your multiverse, so how about we have like, we'll have 3 Earths, okay? No, we'll have like we'll do like Dragon Ball. There's like a dozen universes, okay? One of them is Injustice, because that's one of the best things guys have done in a while. Despite the fact it makes Superman evil, and I have problems with that, but the writing's good, so we're fucking moving on. That's as much as we can ask for at this moment. We'll have Golden Age, so that's like Earth 2 with Alan Scott, Green Lantern, and Jay Garrick, Flash. So those guys are there. Earth 1 will be Superman, Batman, and everyone we know. That's the Earth everyone knows. And then we'll have evil Earth with the crime syndicate and everything. Just because they're always fun to mess around with. And I can't think of any other ones. But if it comes to mind, we'll do those two. But they'll be different. And they will not... And no one touches it. Okay? I'm literally just doing this so we can have a... Like, yes, it's different universes, but at the very least, they'll all be one continuity. You know? Like, we can have, like, Golden Age branding on all the Earth 2 stuff. Just DC... Just regular DC branding on the Earth 1 stuff. Injustice is still just Injustice. And then Crime Syndicate won't even pop up until we do like a multiverse event and where they're being assholes. And everyone's like, hey guys, stop using your powers for evil. Going to be distress on them. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Because like the first few resets are kind of fun. You know, like those are the classic stories. Crisis on 2 Earths, Crisis on Infinite Earths, blah, 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 blah. But then they just kept doing it. Like, we can still have crises in the sense that a multiversal threat appears and all the different kind of heroes from different realities come together to fight it. But we're not going to reset anything. If the world gets destroyed and needs to be redone, the heroes have failed at their job. Okay? Crisis on Cahill Street, exactly. And like, again, one of the only reasons we're doing this is like, I could justify there being multiple Flashes and Green Lanterns, blah, 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 whatever. But I think it would just be better if the Justice Society was in a reality separate from the Justice League. So I'm gonna do that. Yep. But that doesn't mean the individual comic itself is bad. Not that I know of. It might be. I don't get mixed up in this stuff with fucking DC. DC has irreversibly screwed itself, and until someone puts down the boot of we are fixing it and it will not be quote unquote fixed ever again, then it won't end. Hello? Is that like sticky keys or whatever? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Okay, well, this is the thing, right? This is what I'm trying to say, Shadow Mage. Exactly. If I try to fix it, I have to reset everything. They just got done doing that for the umpteenth time. People are going to be sick of it. But, so I mean, I guess solution one to that is we don't do an in-universe reset. We just hard reboot everything. And I do mean everything. Not to say we don't pay homage to the stuff that's come before. I'm just saying, for the sake of future narratives, everything is reset. Hard time. And then I think what I have to do is I have to, like, lay down the law. Like, I have to make, like, a manual for the future generations of DC writers to be like, listen, this is how bad things were before. Don't mess it up. Like, I have to make like a legal document of some kind to convince all future generations of authors at DC Comics to never mess it up ever again. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Yeah, but no, that's the problem, Shadow Mage. All the things we're talking about with DC, that is their one more day. One of the biggest problems with One More Day is how it fucking it resets Spider-Man. And they do that in DC all the time. That was people's biggest complaint. People... Uh-oh. My computer's acting weird. People's big complaint about fucking One More Day is that we liked Spider-Man and MJ's relationship. It makes no sense. What, that... the devil? The devil. I mean, the premise makes sense of... I haven't read it. I'm gonna be real. But the synopsis I know, and the things I hear about it, it is the case of... Devil. They actually just explained that in things. Not that it is a good reason. But they were like, here's why he did it. They did that not too long ago. And I like the art for that. That they did it. But they still shouldn't have done it. But yeah. I stand by what I said. I know you might be like, well, how... Because that's the thing, right? You can give a more in-depth analysis saying, like, the many issues with One More Day, blah, 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 whatever. Yes, exactly. That is exactly what I mean, Shadow Mage. But the reality is, at least one of the major issues with that famously bad arc of Spider-Man is the fact that it reset beloved growth with classic characters, and that is exactly what DC does most of the time. They just did a thing where apparently Superman's identity became public for a very hot minute. And then they were just like, it's not that anymore. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys. We redid everything again. Yeah. Yeah, because here's the thing, right? Daredevil went through something similarly recently, but it wasn't that. If anything, it kind of caused more problems for him, because of unintended consequences, as is so often the case in these superhero stories. So Daredevil's version of that kind of went a bit screwier, but at the same time was also kind of better. Because it used in-universe reasoning and established, like, stuff in order to make it happen. Basically, one of the most fucked up Marvel villains is the Purple Man, who has the ability to just control people's minds. And that guy's kids, for whatever reason, I didn't get briefed on this part, after Daredevil, a while after Daredevil's identity got out, they were just like, no, and they used their version of the Purple Man's powers to undo it. And it actually caused a decent amount of issues for Matt Murdock in a whole thing that happened, which I'm not going to get into. Oh, shit. But that's much better than... Because, like, okay, what's the Spider-Man version of that? I mean, it could just be the Purple Man, but because he's, you know, local supervillain. But, like, I feel like one version of that is either A, the MCU route, where Doctor Strange does it, or B, one of his own actual villains does something about it. Maybe it's Green Goblin. Maybe it's Mysterio. Who knows who it is? The point is, it's not not in universe Satan for some reason. Who demands a reboot in exchange for this offer? I'm just gonna... Let's just save this. Can y'all see this? You might be able to. I don't know. There's nothing is here that I'm like, oh no. You can see you can see my everything. I do not keep I don't keep fucking incredibly sensitive information in document names for everyone just to bear witness to. You know, despite some kerfuffery at a real good time this stream, I'm gonna finish up some of this off stream just for myself, and then I'm gonna add some stuff to it because I am doing this for a reason. I just didn't feel like explaining why I wanted to draw Ultron today. I see your porn. You could not ever see how much porn I have on this computer. Not in one glance, at least. Not in the short millisecond it was on stream. Let's see who to raid. Also, tell me what you looked up. You mean new brain cells? Oh, that? I don't know. I mean, I like the art for it. Is the thing Shadow Mage? Just the story he tells, but at the same time, like, it's stupid. And it's going to be stupid. I don't know why it's part of One More Day. I don't know why you thought it wouldn't be stupid. You know who I never said I saw all of it. Well, I'm saying you didn't even see a fraction of it. Oh my goodness. Is there an ad? My thing just said there's an ad going. So, I was wondering if an ad is going. I want to raid Lime, though. So, we'll say this so not everyone's in... I wouldn't say that. So, basically, Laz, and anyone who doesn't know, the reason Marvel's version of Satan, Mephisto, wanted to break up Peter Parker and MJ's marriage is because Mephisto had seen that whenever he got to conquer the world, Spider-Man would manage to be the one to stop him. And after he took steps to try and make sure that wasn't what was going to happen, then he saw it would be his child. So he was just like, I just have to cut this off at the bud, stop the marriage. And yeah, I don't know. Again, stupid, yes, but it's reasoning for a stupid decision. So, and I just like the imagery of Spider-Man against all odds. I raid Lime. Lime is cool. But yeah, so I might be back. I don't know when I'll be back. I'm thinking Monday because I want to try and do a what was I thinking of? Like a morning stream then. So we'll see, but I'll see y'all later. Bye.